This is M. Carter Pierce, and you're watching The Daily Reel. So much going on in the world today. But there's one thing that really gets me at the end of all of it. There is an evil within. Okay, let's start here. The discharge petition was signed and is going up for a vote, as I understand it, tomorrow. After months and months and months of Donald Trump claiming he's done nothing wrong as usual, and Mike Johnson shutting down the House of Representatives and avoiding swearing in Annalita Gravajo because he knew that she would be the 218th signatory after pulling Lauren Boebert into his office and putting the heat on her and Nancy Mace to take their names off of the discharge petition, going after Marjorie Taylor Greene. All of a sudden, last night, Donald Trump says, I urge all of the Republicans to vote for the release of the Epstein files. When Donald Trump does something like that, it gives you pause. It certainly gives me pause. And then he subsequently says he calls on Pam Bondi to pursue investigations against all of the Democrats that are in those files, like Bill Clinton, supposedly. Here's the thing. One of two things happened here. Either A, Donald Trump has Pam Bondi say, well, we can't release the files because there's an active criminal investigation, and by law, during an active criminal investigation, we can't release the files because they're evidence. That's A. Then there's B. Months ago, back in May, the FBI told Donald Trump that his name was all over the files. In today's computer technology, and I know because I've seen it on Adobe on my phone, or even in photographs, you can go in and erase words, you can alter things, you can change things. Who's to say that the FBI, over the last 6 months, in conjunction, of course, with the Department of Justice, didn't basically massively scrub Donald Trump's name out of the Epstein files? But Donald Trump isn't counting on one thing: the eyewitnesses, the victims. They're speaking out. They're not to be silenced. And they're ready to fight the evil within the Trump administration, namely Trump himself. I often call him the Antichrist. But that's just one of the myriad things that's going on. The bottom line is this. You got to look at the big picture here. In 10 months in office, and again, I'm going to say that I believe that Elon Musk helped him to rig this election, because the empirical evidence found by Election Truth Alliance, ETA, shows manipulation at the tabulation level, which is something that Putin does. But that's just one piece. In these 11 months, Donald Trump has hurt the American people. Oh, excluding the upward 1%, the billionaires and etc. They got another massive tax cut, and it's permanent until at least another administration comes in and they break it. They break it down and destroy it. You're going to need a president and a Congress to do that. And you won't get it with Republicans. Because Republicans have learned Donald Trump's lesson of being a spoiled brat and getting everything he wants. He preaches domination to them. The whole Project 2025 deal is for Republican control perpetually and continually of government for the rest of time. And they're trying to steal it. You know, I got to stop here and say, I don't have anything against Republicans. I have a problem with MAGA Republicans. A couple of my greatest friends are Republicans. I have a problem with MAGA Republicans who blindly follow this lying con man scammer to the ends of the earth. And even those numbers have decreased. It's down to 20% now, where it was 30, 33, 35%. Now it's down to 20%. They're starting to wake up. Yep, there's that woke word again. But it's a fact. They're starting to wake up. Nonetheless, in 10 months in office, Donald Trump gave the ultra-rich another so-called permanent tax cut. He's cut services to the most vulnerable in our society, meaning those who rely on SNAP, Medicaid, Medicare. If he had it his way, he would privatize Social Security. America first. Okay? For example, South Korea was going to make $500 billion investment in Georgia to do for Hyundai. They were going to do Hyundai, and they were going to do lithium batteries for the electric vehicles down there. What did Donald Trump do? He sent in ICE, and they arrested 428 or 29 people. 428 or 429 people. Technicians, professionals. Kept them in custody for a couple of weeks and deported them back to South Korea. South Korea pulled the deal. And when Trump said, could your people maybe just come over and train our people to operate this machinery, this technology, they said, no, thank you. Why should they? After the way they were treated. They've even gone to the UN. They want to sue this country. And while we're on the subject of ICE, Donald Trump and his racist, most divisive ideals has sent ICE into Los Angeles, into California, into Portland, Oregon, into Chicago, into New York. And they're arresting U.S. citizens because they've offered $50,000 signing bonuses to people. And the most unqualified, I know for a fact, that they cut their training from 16 weeks down to 8. I've watched them try to effect arrests. And it's unbelievable, the lack of training, the lack of de-escalation, the just wild, wild west. It's like the bounty hunters used to be back in the 80s. And a lot of those people are bounty hunters. Not the licensed kind, the homegrown kind. But to make matters worse, Trump has manufactured crises. He said that Portland was on fire. It was a war zone. It was a hellhole. And then the videos started coming out from citizens and elected politicians showing that the streets were quiet, people out shopping, riding bikes. The only place that there was a gathering was at the ICE detention center. And what did you have there? Were there firebombs? No. You had people dressed up in rubber costumes as animals. Peaceful protest. The reward for that? Gangsters like Greg Bovino firing pepper spray rounds into the heads of priests who were actively praying, hands outstretched in prayer. And they shot him in the head and then had the nerve to laugh about it. A priest In his most recent move to take away the ACA subsidies and to make sure that the American people actually pay more for their health care insurance, their premiums are going to either double, triple, or quadruple, depending on the size of their families. After his big, beautiful betrayal bill that Congress passed, well, the Democrats tried to fight back, and not just for Democrats, but for Republican families too, who rely on the ACA subsidies. And it's in the states that voted most for Trump. They're the ones that are going to get affected the most. Some of the poorest states like Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama. So what did Trump do? Oh, he can't stand the idea of losing because it makes him look weak. Not to mention the fact that it offends his little fragile ego. So you know what he did? He withheld SNAP payments. So that, again, America's most vulnerable would suffer. Some people went at least 2 weeks with food insecurity. Trump is playing with politics with people's lives. He's not betting his own money. He's betting ours. And it's not over yet. And all the while, he's still trying to hide the fact that he's a damn pedophile and a sexual abuser, which he was adjudicated as in New York just last year and in 2023. He's a sexual abuser and a pedophile. And MAGA, if you continue to support this guy, then you've got to be in a minority category such as a racist, a pedophile, or a damn fool. This man is the evil within. He's the evil within America. Internationally, he's befriended every despot in the world, and he's alienated our allies. His tariffs have not only hurt our relationships with our allies and trading partners, but they've hurt the American people because even the courts have said tariffs are taxes and they're not paying it. We are. I'm about to have my roof done and some work done on my house. And in order to secure the funds that I need and to get the materials, they wanted an estimate of the cost of the materials from the distributor. So my contractor used a well-known online distributor where the prices are usually cheaper. And he sent me a copy of his cart. As you know, when you shop online, you have a cart. And before you check out, you can look through the cart, make sure you got everything. So that's what he sent me. And the people that I was securing the funds from said, well, we figured it would be about 30%, which is $2,500. And I spoke to them just this very morning. And I said to them, I asked the contractor the same thing. Why is this so much money? And he said, the goddamn tariffs. The price of everything went up. Trump will lie to you and he will tell you that there is no inflation, when in actuality, there are numbers coming out the end of this week that shows we have hit 3%. We've gone from 2%, 2.1% to 3% in only 10 months, not even a year. That means in another 36 months, we could be at 6% inflation, and that's recession. And that's knocking on the door to another Great Depression. While the rich live well, we're screwed. And he wants to take even more. And again, I argue that he was even elected. But when we call upon somebody to be the leader of the free world and our leader, he's there to serve us, not us to serve him, not us to build him golden bribe rooms and destroy the east wing of the White House, which is a historical building, to remodel a bathroom in your gaudy gold and garbage, to destroy the Oval Office with that same gold. Gold, gold everywhere. You're a cheap punk that you got to have gaudy gold. That's not fashionable. That's not great taste. That's not class. That's gaudy. It's crass. It's craven. But then what do you expect from a pedophile scammer and a sexual abuser? It's the evil within our country. Donald Trump is the evil within our country. Project 2025 is the evil within our country. And we better excise it quickly if we want to have a country. Because I'll say it again, the United States is not going to make another 36 months. I'm M. Carter Pierce, and you've been watching The Daily Reel. By all means, if you learned something from this content, comment, subscribe, share, and like this video so we can get the algorithm up and get to more people with the truth. You know, The Daily Reel, it's not R-E-E-L, it's R-E-A-L, reality, where we live, not the reality that exists inside of Trump's old degenerated nugget. And MAGA, don't even bother, because you'll just get blocked. That's it. And I thank you for watching. See you again tomorrow.